Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So it was great to see that you guys enjoyed the video we did with Valkyrie talking about playing Pharah at a Masters level, so we decided to do another video but focus on one of the major supports, Ana. So to go over Ana, we have got our friend OneAmongstMany to sort of go over a lot of his tips. How's it going? Hello.
Hello, it's pretty good. It's a very misty day here in the UK. It's a bit like Silent Hill outside, but yeah, I'm happy to be here, happy to talk some Ana, probably one of the most complicated heroes in Overwatch to really nail down on, but we should be able to help people along here today. So yeah, how are you, Ryan, as well?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm not too bad. It's still pretty damn cold. It was first night of frost last night as well, so the pandemonium it caused in the household. To begin with, it's definitely worth going over the credentials. We've just started season 3, so I'd definitely like to know how high you've got in previous seasons with your rank and where you are currently, and what is the aim for this season if you have one.
So for me, last season I finished at, my season high for last season finished at about 3.6k. This season I placed at 3,460-ish. I generally tend to bounce right around 3.5k, which is very frustrating as I just jump in and out of Masters constantly. But yeah, my goal for this season is to finish probably within the top 500 at some point. I'd really like to climb that high and just keep that sort of momentum going and get myself that nice little spray as well.
It's worth adding that you play a lot of different heroes. You're not as into Ana as, say, Valkyrie is into Pharah in terms of playtime, but she really is a strong hero at the moment, and you've been playing her probably the most when it comes to ranks play as well. And you played it for Team UK as well in the World Cup.
Yeah, so that was a while ago, but like basically we needed to like split up the support roles, and it was me and Stylosa sort of filling those. Sty refuses to play Mercy. I'm fine playing Mercy, so I took up Mercy and Ana. Ana just became very meta, so I had to learn Ana, and I kind of fell in love with her during that process. But like you said, I play a lot of heroes. There's a couple of issues with that, just like sometimes I'm not entirely sure whether I'm coming or going, and it feels like it does limit me in some ways, but Ana is definitely the hero that I've played the most recently, and she's definitely my go-to hero and just having a big impact on the game. Like, I hear a lot of people complain that supports don't have a huge impact, like you feel very useless at the time or very dependent on your team. I think Ana is the one exception to that, where you can have a massive amount of game impact very easily just by providing good healing, good grenades, good sleep darts, and of course good ultimates.
So we did a video on Monday going over the difference between filling and flexing, and as you said, you know, you have a lot of heroes that you play and it's somewhat limiting. How would you approach that differently for people that maybe are doing a similar thing, that could play 7 or 8 heroes pretty well but not really any of them to a really good standard for them to actually climb in ranked?
What I'm trying to do myself is I'm trying to narrow down my hero pool and really refine it, because what I'm finding is that I can play like 8, 9, 10 heroes perhaps to a diamond level, but it's not pushing me towards that masters level on all of them. And so what I'm looking to do is find 1 or 2 heroes that I can just play in each role, and then anytime I get an opportunity to play them, I'm going to play them, I'm going to focus on those. So it's just sort of cutting away the heroes that I might not enjoy as much, or the heroes that might be a little bit off meta, and then moving myself towards the heroes that I'm more insistent on drilling down on. So for me, for example, that would be Ana in the support category as like my #1 pick. If I can get Ana, I'm going to take Ana.
Just out of interest, what other heroes would you pick?
For me, for support, I generally gravitate towards Ana and Zenyatta, just because I feel like they're very high impact as supports and they're very interesting and fun heroes to play. For DPS, I've been gravitating towards the 2 flankers, so Tracer and Genji. And for tanks, for me, it's Reinhardt and Zarya.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go straight on to talking about Ana, and as you said, she's a hero that has a lot of impact, and I think generally a lot of people want to learn how to play her and enjoy playing her. But there are some common mistakes made by a lot of people, I guess. So what general advice would you give to improving on Ana? What thing really stands out when it comes to improving on her?
So I know a lot of people go into Ana thinking that, oh, she's a sniper, so aiming is like the most important thing I've got to do, and it's honestly the biggest mistake you can make is over-focus on the aiming. The most important thing you should focus on when you're picking up Ana first is positioning. Just try and make sure that you are positioning to where you can see most of your team at any given time, so you can see who's low, you can see who's on, who needs healing, who needs a heal grenade, or who needs support, and you aren't also able to get picked off by the enemy. And also, like, one mistake I also see new players do a lot is they'll over-focus on trying to deal damage at the same time. And with Ana, you've got to think of every heal dart that you are firing as a kind of a choice, right? You're not Zenyatta. You can't heal and DPS. It's healing or DPS. So make sure that you're generally choosing healing, especially if you're new to the hero, because over DPSing is something that you can definitely try and do. And you're there to heal your team, you're there to support your team, you're there to sort of make sure that they can keep on fighting. So try and position yourself very carefully to where you can see most of your team, and try and make sure that you're always keeping an eye on absolutely everyone, and you're there and ready to give them the healing that they need very quickly.
Specifically when we were playing our placement games, and as a Reinhardt player, the worst thing that you could run into is an incredibly aggressive Ana with the use of the grenade and the sleep darts and stuff like that. Is that a way that people should be approaching her a little bit more, or is that for definitely those grandmaster players?
I think that's definitely more of a higher level thing, especially if you're just like learning the hero. Definitely focus on defense first and try and focus on supporting your team, and then learn the edge cases where you can branch out a bit and deal a bit more damage. And that isn't to say that if you see a great opportunity for a heal grenade to be thrown into the enemy team and deny them that healing, definitely take it. And for example, like Transcendence is a great time to try and get one of those grenades in, because you can definitely get some good kills off the back of that. But be very, very careful when you are trying to over DPS. That said, sleep dart use, like Reinhardt's, is one of the easiest things to try and deal with. If they try and charge someone, for example, that's an easy setup for a good, quick sleep dart that is relatively simple to hit. It's a finicky ability to use. It's difficult to learn. But when you do start learning it, then you can start branching out, and you'll eventually end up nailing Genjis, because, hey, Genjis generally like to dash at you, so you just fire it at them, and hey, they fall asleep with a Dragon Blade out, and it feels great. And then Winston comes along and wakes them up and ruins it, of course. But that's just Winston things.
So we're in a little bit of a rut at the moment with the triple tank meta, and Ana's at the forefront and centre of this as well. What do you think of Ana now? Is there anything you would change to feel to nerf this hero? Because it feels that she's the catalyst of this very beefy meta that we're currently having.
Yeah, and there's actually a very simple reason for that, and it's because Ana plus tank is just a really, really good synergy. She has an easy time hitting tanks, she has an easy time keeping them alive, especially with the biotic grenade on that tank as well. What you can do is you're basically producing about 180 heals per second, which is ridiculous. It's nearly impossible to sort of break down a tank if they're being heal supported by Ana. I know that me and you especially have teamed up in the past, and I've just been shouting at you, Ryan, just swing at them, I've got you, and you can stand in the middle of 3 people, and I can just keep you alive through all of it. And that's sort of one of the things that Ana you're looking to do, is if you have a choice between healing a tank and a DPS, generally favor healing the tank, because you can just keep him alive through anything, and then he can just out DPS anything. I'd say that the nerf I'd like to see to her to sort of rectify that problem is actually reduce the bonus healing on the biotic grenade, bring it down from 100% to like 50% extra healing, see how that feels, see how that goes, and maybe actually just reduce a little bit of her healing as well, because she did get buffed a few times in her healing, but the reason why Ana wasn't picked at first when she was introduced wasn't because of her low healing rate, it was because, well, Zenyatta was in the meta with a 50% Discord orb, and that was removing the tanks, no need for Ana. Then when the tanks came in, Ana came in a big way, and she just sort of had overbuffed healing at that time. So I'd like to see her healing per second perhaps come down just a little bit, and see how that fares as well.
Okay, certainly at the moment with nerfs to Lucio and buffs to Mercy as well, the supports overall are in a much better spot, and we've seen a couple of people playing Zenyatta instead of Ana, for example, and even some situations Ana and Zenyatta instead of Ana Lucio. At what time would you play other supports over Ana specifically?
It really depends on what the enemy is running and what your objectives are as a team. If you are running a tank-heavy lineup, then Ana is absolutely superb. But if you're running something that maybe a little bit more flanker-heavy, Zenyatta can be very, very good just because he's got that reliable healing. If you're running a Pharah, for example, you're taking tips from Valkyrie last week and love running Pharah, then hey, Mercy is incredible still with Pharah providing all that damage output. Mercy also just a very solid roundabout defensive pick, works very well with Soldier 76, of course Ana does as well, so it also just depends on like what you and your friends are good at as well. If you don't feel confident on Ana, then she can be unreliable at times compared to someone like Mercy and Zenyatta and Lucio, so don't feel bad about running those. Otherwise, right now in the current meta, Ana's just very good in all situations, so it's just a matter of like comfort, what your objectives are, what you're looking to do, and going with that.
So I asked Valkyria this last week, and it's not even necessarily about Ana, but what tip has helped you out the most? You've had a good opportunity to get to know some of the pros and play alongside like Numlox and Cruz for the World Cup. What advice have you gotten from that sort of level of player that has stuck with you the most and resonates with you the most and has sort of helped you improve as a player?
So for me, it's very simply just knowing what your role is in the team and having this very clear idea of my objective in the team is this. And this is something that I try and teach people a lot now as well. But when you're playing in that sort of very structured team role, you get to understand that basically everyone on the team has their own job. And like let's take Anna for example, because that's what we're talking about. My job as Anna is to provide healing where it's needed, to provide sleep darts when they're needed, and to provide healing boosts and anti-healing at specific locations. My job isn't, for example, necessarily to snipe at their supports. My job is to provide healing. Leave the sniping of the enemy supports to my DPS pieces. Leave the frontline tanking and DPS output to the tanks. Don't try and overstep your roles and just focus on what you need to do. So if there is a Genji or a Tracer chasing me down, I need to make sure that I'm prioritizing that my tanks are still alive while trying to avoid damage, rather than just turning around trying to, chase a Tracer halfway across the map, because that ain't my job. So it's understanding what is my job inside this team, and when you do understand that, making sure that, hopefully everyone else knows their jobs and you can kind of cover each other wonderfully off the back of that.
So, in conclusion, we usually do a shout out and stuff, but I specifically wanted to mention a new series that you've started doing, and also you've started doing on stream as well, with the OneAmongstMany VOD reviews, and of course it started with me. I just thought it was worth mentioning any information you could give on that, and why people should watch VOD reviews specifically, because for me especially, they've been a really useful asset to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to plug myself. So yeah, Coaching the Many is a new series that I've done, and it did start wonderfully with Ryan sending me some Reinhardt footage to go over, and some Winston footage as well that I still have, that I still need to go over on stream. I'm saving that for a rainy day, for a quiet night. But basically, what VOD reviews let you do is they let you see your own play, and like we've always suggested, me, Ryan, Miska all suggest the same thing. I think Stylosa does the same as well, where if you ever get the chance, try and watch your own gameplay back, and that's immensely helpful. But what's even more helpful is having someone else who you trust, who you know kind of understands the game, going over your footage and just saying, well, why did you do that? And even the fact that they're just asking questions makes you ask questions about, well, why am I doing that? What is my purpose here? And I think one of the things that I provided for Ryan, for example, that he's got so much better at is clarity of purpose as his job in the team. On Reinhardt, for example, where before he was very eager to swing his hammer around and try and get kills, and not realizing that dropping his barrier so much was providing the enemy team with these huge opportunities to do huge amounts of damage. He's since gotten way better about keeping his barrier up and being in the right place at the right time doing that, it's like a staggering difference. And it just came from like one or two quick tips and one or two things that he was perhaps overlooking. One of the videos for Coaching the Many the first one I did on stream was for Anna, and if you are looking at getting better at Anna, I really do recommend you go and watch that. It's like an hour of dedicated talk about positioning with Anna, where you should be standing, what you should be looking for, how you should be applying your shots, your heal grenades, your sleep darts, all of that stuff, getting very specific with it and getting very in-depth with it. So I do heartily recommend you go and check that out. And if you do want to send your own footage to me, by the way, and I'm going to do my quick plug here, if you do want to send some footage in, it's to omreviews@gmail.com. Just send in a YouTube video or something with your gameplay footage on it, including the title, your hero name and rank, and a little bit of a description of the match in the main body text. And yeah, I'll probably give it a look on stream sometime, hopefully at least.
Yep, definitely worth watching. And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know who you would like us to talk to next and what hero we'd like to talk about, and we'll do our best to make it happen. Until next time, take care. We'll see you then.